Hey, this is Dow2Fast here, and this morning while I was driving to work, I happened to notice that a couple of lights came on the dash. The check engine light was on, the slip light was on, and the TCS light was also on. And after I got to work, I checked some of the internet posts for these things, and they mentioned that it could be a camshaft position sensor. And one thing I noticed is that ever since those lights came on, when I started the car up, it would take a while, and also it sounds like it's going to stall. So that's what I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to start it up, and then I also have the ELM327, an OBDII scanner plugged in, and I'm going to try to read the code on my Android tablet here. So let's first start it up so you can hear what it sounds like. So there you can see the TCS off light is on, slip light is on, and the service engine soon is light up right now. So let me go ahead and scan the code to see what kind of fault code is reporting. So it came back with P0345 powertrain, camshaft position sensor, bank 2. So I just came back from the dealership and I picked up the sensors I needed. The two sensors you see here are your camshaft position sensor, and this one on the left has part number 23731-AL61A, and this one should be for bank number 2, which is the front of the engine near the radiator. The one on the right here is part number 23731-6J90B. This one should be for bank 1, which is near the back of the engine, near the firewall. Now, I also picked up a crankshaft position sensor right here. And the reason I picked this one up is because I did some research on the internet and also talked to a friend of mine that works at Nissan. And it appears that there are a lot of vehicles where after these two camshaft sensors go, the crankshaft sensor may go also. So I'm just doing more of a preventative maintenance. Go ahead and change this out. You don't have to do that. It's up to you. But the problem is that if the crankshaft position sensor goes, what will happen is that your car will stall out while you're driving in the middle of the road. Now, I've also seen people reporting that when the camshaft position sensor go, it could stall your car. But typically you can start it back up and drive it home or drive it to a shop. So these are the three parts I picked up. Now, as far as price goes, I bought these from my local dealership because I need to get this car fixed. This is my main vehicle to go to work, so I don't have time to order online and save some money. So they were expensive. Basically, these two camshaft position sensor was about $112 each, and then the crankshaft position sensor was about $110 for this one. So total is over $300. But again, I need to get this car up and running, and so these are the parts I'll be installing into the vehicle. One point I want to make is that you can pick up aftermarket parts for these sensors, but I just want to make sure that these parts I put in will be reliable. I'm not going to have any problems with it. So it's up to you if you want to go with aftermarket, but definitely I'm going to stick with the Nissan parts, so I don't have to worry about 6 months down the road or 7 months down the road if these sensors fail. So first thing I'm going to do is remove the engine cover here. These are held in by 4 hex screws here. So let's go ahead and remove those. The next thing you need to do is disconnect the negative battery terminal. So let me first show you the bank 2 camshaft position sensor location. And if you look at the front valve cover, okay, this is where I'm pointing to. Below that you see that green connector. That green connector is the plug that connects onto the camshaft position sensor. And you see to the left of it, there's a 10mm bolt that's holding it in. So we'll first go ahead and disconnect the connector on here. So let me show you this connector here. What I did was I had my screwdriver pushing this down, and while this is all the way down, I had my fingers underneath the connector, like so. And I just lifted that connector off. And that's how you disconnect this connector from the camshaft sensor. So the next thing I need to do is remove the 10mm bolt that's holding the sensor down. And I have a ratcheting wrench here for 10mm. So I'll put this on here and remove that bolt. So here's the old sensor. So I just want to show you the two sensors. The one on the left is the old one that I pulled out. And here's a new one on the right. Looks exactly the same. Also comes with a new O-ring here. So I'll be installing this new one here. So go ahead and tighten the 10mm bolt. Now we can connect the connector back on. So I hope you saw that. Basically, once you push the connector back on, the green tab will pop back up, telling you that it's locked in now. So this connector is now secured. Now at this point I'm going to connect the battery back up and test it, make sure the TCS and the slip light turns off. So I'm going to start the car up. And indeed the TCS and the slip light is off now, which is good. So that new sensor took care of that problem. Now the check engine light is still on because it memorized the last fault code. So I have to go back in with a OBDII scanner reader and clear that fault code. But basically that new sensor did take care of the problem. You saw that I bought a second sensor, the Bank 1. So I'm going to go ahead and replace the one at the back near the firewall. This is more of a preventative maintenance, so I don't have to deal with this, in a couple months if the other one goes. So let me go ahead and work on that one. So again, we'll start with disconnecting the battery terminal. The back sensor is tucked way back over there. So we'll need to go ahead and take out the air filter box and give us some more space. Loosen the hose clamp. Disconnect the MAP sensor. You also need to loosen the hose clamp at the back, holding the rubber piece. So it's a clamp back here, where my finger is pointing. And disconnect this. So with the air filter box out, let me show you the back camshaft sensor. If you can kind of see that green connector over there, I'll point it with a screwdriver here, right here. That is the connector to the back camshaft sensor. So we need to disconnect that. And it's a tight fit. There are a lot of hoses around going there. The EGR pipe is right here. So we're just going to have to get our hands in there and find a way to disconnect that. So let's see if I can get this long flathead underneath that connector and push that tab in. Try again. So what I did was, while pushing the underneath tab with a long screwdriver, I also slip this flathead onto the end of the connector and just give it a little twist. Not too hard, again you don't want to damage anything. And that connector released. There it goes. And again there's a 10mm on here that we'll need to remove. So I have a ratchet with a universal at the end. I'm going to try to slip over the 10mm bolt and see if I can get that bolt out. I've just installed the new sensor, and now I'm going to put the 10mm bolt back in. Now we'll go ahead and reconnect the connector, and make sure you know the tab is facing down. You hear the click. That shows that the connector is now seated properly. Now we'll go ahead and put everything back together. Now we'll go ahead and reconnect the battery. Now I know in the beginning of the video I mentioned that I also bought the crankshaft sensor. I will be changing that out, but it won't be today. I'm going to do it another time. The main thing is I want to get the two camshaft sensor replaced today. So that's done. And I will do another video when I do the crankshaft sensor. That sensor is actually underneath the car near the oil pan area. So stay tuned, and I will get that other video up once I get the other sensor replaced. But anyways, I hope this video is helpful to you guys, and if you have any questions, leave a comment below. And if you like the video, please subscribe. Thank you for watching.